Let's go live. Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine live show. Today we're bringing you on lockdown, Kyle Verreynne, Cobras, and of course he's played for the Proteas as well, as you all know. Wicketkeeper-batsman. So how's it, Kyle? How you doing? How's lockdown been? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now. Sorry, I don't know. Internet struggling a bit here.
Yeah. So first of all, Kyle, just tell me what's lockdown been like? We have some problems with Kyle's connection.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
So guys, you can get your questions in
Let
so
me see if
long.
I can turn off the Wi-Fi quickly.
Yeah, you guys can get your questions in so
Sorry, I
long.
know this is taking a
Technical
while.
difficulties, but it's cool. Things happen. Wi-Fi in South Africa, I guess.
Yeah, listen, sorry.
No problem.
People.
Yeah, so we just waiting for Kyle to come back, guys. Don't worry, we will get the stream started. He's just trying to sort out his internet, etc. So yeah, you can start getting your questions in. I mean, a lot of you guys will know Kyle and would have seen him play for the Cobras or for the Proteas, etc. He had an amazing tour against Australia. Um, we are having some technical issues with Kyle's connection, so he's trying to get back as soon as possible. But so long, you guys can have a conversation with me. I guess this is a platform for all of us to be able to have a chat. So get your questions in the comment section, obviously below, and when we get Kyle back, we'll start our conversation. So it's been quite a hectic journey so far, obviously, with everybody and especially journalists trying to find stories and trying to find new ways of creating content. We've decided to go live with a few players and have chats with them and try to find out their stories and what their journey's been like, and also to get some of their question, you guys to ask questions and get closer to the players, of course. So yeah, so generally speaking, what we try to do is also to try to get them to give you guys some tips during this difficult period of lockdown, etc. So after you guys must also give us suggestions. If you have anybody that you'd like to see on here, we'll try to get in contact with them and try to also have a chat with them. So we're still waiting on Kyle to see. I see we can obviously see him having some trouble on screen here, but I'm sure he'll be back soon. Let me ask you guys some questions. For example, whoever's out there, maybe name me some of your top players that you enjoy watching. Maybe name me some players that you would like to see, of course, on the platform, etc. And maybe some of the moments where you watch Kyle and you thought, "Wow, this is really a type of player that can really take things forward and really cement his spot in the obviously in the national setup." Um, I know you guys have tuned in. The guys that have tuned in now, we just to update you again. Kyle's having some technical difficulties on his side with regards to his Wi-Fi, so he's trying to get back on board as soon as possible. So you're gonna have to look at me until, for a little while until that is sorted out. So we had I can update you guys on what's happening with us so far. Today we did have a press conference with Ashwell Prince where they announced uh, his new squad. I know you know a lot of guys have left. Guys like Dane Pitt, guys like Rory Kleinveld, and of course Vernon Philander. You know that he's left too. So he's updated us on our squad and the new squad, etc. We're gonna try to get Kyle back on the stream, and I see you guys' questions, so don't worry, we will ask them at the end of the show. Welcome back, Kyle. Is everything cool again?
Thank you. I hope so. Time will tell.
Okay, cool. So let's start. Well, if you're having Wi-Fi issues like this in lockdown, I mean, have you been having some great time off in lockdown? Do you have anything to? Have you been watching things, or have you been struggling with the stream all the time?
Well, normally the Wi-Fi is quite good. We got fiber at home, so it's normally quite good. I don't know what's going on at the moment. Yeah, I've just been trying to keep busy watching Netflix. Yeah, doing a bit of training and a bit of PlayStation. But yeah, to be honest, I haven't been doing too much.
Yeah, let's get back into those questions a little bit later. Let's start with more about the lockdown itself. If there's any tips regarding training, etc., that you can give to kids. We saw that some Proteas women players and wicketkeeper sent us in videos of them practicing, and especially for a wicketkeeper, it's quite a unique style and a unique training regime that you have to follow. So, is there any tips you can give to young wicketkeepers out there on how they can keep fit and how they can keep sharp during this period?
Yeah, I think obviously, like you said, keeping is a bit different to the other sort of aspects of the game. Yeah, but I think luckily you don't really need anyone else you don't really need a coach or anyone or family members to be throwing you balls and stuff. Yeah, you can literally just take tennis balls. I use golf balls and just throw it against the wall. Yeah, practice catching one hand, catching both hands. Yeah, try if you can. I've got a sliding door where you can see the reflection. So um, yeah, just do that to sort of help you with your posture and your technique and stuff. Yeah, but like I said, it's quite easy because you don't really need anyone else to sort of help you with it. Just try and get a tennis ball or a golf ball or something. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube actually. If you Google wicket keeping drills and that's what I do. Yeah, just Google stuff. There's a lot of counties as well that post videos of their keepers training, and most of it's literally um, yourself throwing balls against the wall, doing different stuff. So yeah, it is a different skill, but it's not too difficult to train it on your own.
Cool. So wicket keeping is quite a difficult position. It's a specialist position, and not. I don't feel that just anybody can become a wicket keeper necessarily. It's you either have it or you don't. But talk to me about your journey. When you started cricket, was it wicket keeping from the get go, or how did you get into wicket keeping?
No, it wasn't actually. When I started, obviously you start like under, I think hardball started under 10 level or whatever. Um, when I started, I used to bat a bit and bowl. I actually opened the bowling, funny enough. Um, yeah, but it was one of those things where all the sort of other parents want everyone to get a fair opportunity. So yeah, I remember the coach at the time coming to me and saying, "Look, you must either choose batting or bowling. We're not going to let you do both." So obviously, I chose to bat, and then yeah, I got so bored in the field that I asked if I can keep. Yeah, and that's sort of where it started. I think that was probably like under 11 or so. Um, yeah, and then up until under 13, I actually still bowled for my primary school, but then when I played club on the weekend, then I would um, keep. So yeah, I did that up until under 13, and then when I went to high school, yeah, I couldn't really get away with what I was bowling anymore. So yeah, that's when I took keeping up full time. Um, yeah, it's an interesting one because I wouldn't say I really wanted to do it. It just sort of happened, and yeah, it ended up working well. So I'm happy it ended out that way.
What is the most difficult task about keeping? Obviously, keeping in T20 cricket, 1 day internationals and 4 days completely different. But what would you say is the most difficult part about being a wicketkeeper?
I think in 4-day cricket, it's definitely the concentration. Obviously, you have to. I mean, it's not like you got to be switched on everywhere in the field, but I think keeping every ball, you got to be switched on. When you're bowling, you bowl your over, and then you can sort of go down to fine leg or whatever, catch a breather. But I think keeping, you've got to, yeah, every ball you've got to be on it, and I think it's that much tougher because it's difficult to get chances. So when a chance comes your way, you kind of have to take it. So yeah, I think the concentration part in 4-day cricket is probably the toughest. Yeah, and in 1-day T20 cricket, I think keeping it's the tough part is being so involved in the game without doing anything, if that makes sense. As a keeper, you got to be up to the stumps every ball, have the energy, But in saying that, it's difficult because in one-day cricket, the ball hardly actually goes to the keeper. So yeah, the toughest thing is just being on it without actually doing anything, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense because I mean, I particularly think that not everybody necessarily just because they're diving and just around on the field doesn't necessarily make them a good keeper. For me, in my eyes, I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of other factors. If you do the simple things correctly, like I watch you and you don't dive as much, it's because obviously your foot movement is good, so you don't need to always dive only in pressure situations. You get some keepers that rely on their dives, and it can be quite like uneven or not predictable. I want to talk to you a little bit because the first time I met you, we did a documentary on you before. Well, I did a documentary on you before when by where I was previously, and
Yeah.
I met one of your coaches, Ezra Poole. Now I just want to talk to
Fully.
you. I just want to
Mm.
talk to you about Pooley and what he has done for your career and how integral he's been a part of your wicket-keeping development.
Yeah, listen, Ezra's been massive. I think obviously he's a good coach and he knows a lot about wicket keeping, but I think the type of person that he is as well has been massive. He loves the game, he loves wicket keeping, and yeah, he knows a lot about wicket keeping. Yeah, and like I said, just the way he is really someone that I've enjoyed working with. I think he obviously helped my keeping quite a lot when I started working with him. To be honest, I was pretty average. Um, so technically, and on a keeping side, he really helped me a lot just to sort of knuckle down my basics. He's big on getting your basics right. So we spent quite a bit of time on that, and then yeah, he's very nice in the sense that he sort of lets you feel your way around. So yeah, he worked with me getting my basics right, and then just helped me sort of explore what type of keeper I want to be. And then yeah, apart from the keeping, I think like I said, just his encouragement and yeah, he's passionate about the game is something that I haven't really experienced much. He's yeah, every time I work with him, he makes it enjoyable, which is for me, it's quite important that you're enjoying your work. Um, yeah, and he just I think something that's always stood out to me was how much he wants his players to do well. I know he works with a few other keepers, um, and the drive that he has for those guys to do well, I think that just comes out in the way he coaches and stuff. So yeah, he's been really good to me. I still talk to him quite a bit, even about non cricket or non wicket keeping related stuff. Yeah, he's just a good mentor that I've got, and yeah, I'm glad I got introduced to him when I did. He really helped me quite a bit.
So another part of you and a part of you that a lot of people love is the way you bat, your style of batting. Tell me about how you maybe describe yourself as a batsman. From my perspective, I can give you an opinion from my view of you. I feel like you're a type of guy that performs really well under pressure in difficult situations. Similarly to how Ashwell used to do. When I spoke to him as well, he mentioned it too. So he sees a lot of himself in you as well, and um, the way you approach your game. I mean, there's been times at the Cobras where they are five down, and you have to come in and you have to save the game, or a situation like that. Just talk to me about that and what's key to your batting and the way you approach the game.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there. I do quite enjoy pressure. I've mentioned it to you before, but I think for me, um, when you get in a pressure situation, the reason you're under pressure is because the odds are against you, and you aren't really expected to excel. So that just sort of relaxes me knowing that yeah, everything around or the situation sort of telling me that I'm probably going to fail. That's why it's so difficult. So there's not really any expectations on me, and that sort of helps me just calm down. And yeah, I enjoy that because then you can just focus on doing the simple things. And yeah, most of the time you just forget about what's going on around you. Yeah, I think obviously Ashwell's had a big impact on the way I play. My whole professional career has been under his coaching. So yeah, he's obviously had a big influence on that. Yeah, and I think it's just about wanting to do well under pressure. I think you make a name for yourself when you do well under pressure. You don't really hear people talk about the guys that score 100 when the team gets 600. You know what I mean? I mean, you expect it, but I think you get spoken about a lot when you're able to deliver under tough circumstances. And I've always tried to not been remembered, but I've always tried to sort of show what I'm about when things are difficult, because I think that definitely people appreciate that more. And yeah, I think you get to understand what type of person, what type of player someone is when they come under quite a lot of pressure. So yeah, it's something that I pride myself on, and yeah, I definitely think working with Ashwell has had an influence on that.
So, guys, I can see your questions coming in. Don't worry, I will be asking Kyle those questions at the end of the show. We're just going to get into a little bit more of his career and his journey so far, and then we'll get into those questions. So, Kyle, I want to talk to you. Obviously, you've been consistent at domestic cricket, and I remember a time, and I don't know, I don't want you to feel taken aback by this, but there was a specific time when I came to training, and you were there, and it was around about the time that the SAA teams were being announced, etc. And your name wasn't on that list, and I could see that I could see that you were a bit let down by it. But what I really enjoyed was the fact that you never let it get you down. You still went out there, still went to the net, still practiced, you still went out there and performed no matter what adversity has come your way. So just talk about some of your struggles that you've had until that point where you actually got your Proteas debut. And obviously that was an amazing thing for everybody that's fans of you.
Yeah, I think obviously at the time, like you said, I was quite bleak. I don't think I was so much bleak about not getting into the team. I was just bleak about, I don't know, having the season that I had. You sort of expecting, well, not expecting, but you hoping for things to happen, and it's always a goal. And then when you feel like you've done enough to get that reward, and then you don't get it, it's like, ah, what more can I do or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it was quite an important part in my career, because what I realized then was, look, I expected it and I really wanted it, but if you go back and you look, it was one good season, and at the end of the day, I probably, as well as I did that season, I probably didn't deserve to make the SAA side. I know a lot of people's opinions were that I should have been, but one good season doesn't really guarantee any sort of selection. So yeah, it was a good learning for me just to realize that. And I think what that made me realize was that I need to just work a bit more harder, or just keep working hard, because I think, yeah, at that time I was in a stage where I sort of expected things to happen, and yeah, obviously that's not how it works. So that's really helped me going forward. Yeah, obviously I then ended up making the side eventually, which was nice. But I think moving on from that, for the rest of the season, it just made me realize that you've really got to put in performance after performance before you're going to get rewarded. And yeah, you should never take a selection or an opportunity for granted, because yeah, sometimes you do really well and you don't get your chance, and then yeah, just means you've just got to keep pushing. So yeah, obviously I was, like you said, I was really disappointed when that happened, but I think it was probably one of the better things that could have happened for me, just to help myself realize that you know what, you don't really deserve anything, or nothing should just be given to you. You've really got to go out there and get it. And yeah, I like to believe that's what I've done since then. So yeah, I'm quite happy with how it actually assisted me so far.
Yeah, because I mean, you're making your debut, etc., and obviously that half century that everybody was waiting for. It was quite heartbreaking being there and watching you not get it at the first in the first
Mm.
the first time around, and then the second time around. I mean, I know a lot of people would have been really happy, and it looked so seamless, the transition for you. How did you feel when you in that side against one of the best teams in the world?
Yeah, so something that I've actually, my principal at Weinberg Boys, I remember this. I always remember this because it's helped me quite a bit. He gave a speech about some guy who, I don't know, he was going to a hot dog eating competition or whatever, and he was a couple minutes late. So eventually, when he did rock up, then the people were like, "Where were you?" So he was like, "No, I was just busy eating as many hot dogs as I can or whatever, just to make sure I can do it." So I think basically what I took out of that is if you've done it before, then there should be no question whether you can do it again. And for me, playing in the MSR, you play against KG, Duan, SAA games. I played against Chahal, those guys. I played against the England side for the SAA side, and that was Stokes, Anderson, Wokes, and that. So yeah, obviously I mean, I don't want to say that it was nothing different, but I think when you've had experiences against world-class bowlers already, there's no I never questioned whether I'd be able to deal with it, just because for me, playing in the MSR, some of those guys are the best in the world, and same with the rest of the team. So what's different against these guys, if that makes sense? So yeah, obviously it was a challenge, but I think mentally, that just stuck in the back of my head that I've been able to deal with people of similar abilities before. So there's no reason why I wouldn't be able to do it now.
Cool. That's awesome. And what were the guys like with you? Was it easy for you to settle in the team? Because I saw that by being by the practices, etc., you can see, like, I obviously was with watching the test team play against
Mm.
England, etc., and then you almost when the ODIs and the T20 with the T20s happened and the ODIs happened, there was a complete different switch because there was a new team. And I know that the test side was very let down and they felt really bad about the way the test series went against England. But when I saw the ODI squad train, it was like almost like a fresh new look side, and there was a new energy, and I could feel the belief in that squad. Tell me about, was it easy for you to settle in with the side, and what is Boucher and Cullis and all those big names like?
Yeah, I think something that made it very easy, and I think it's something that the players definitely don't underestimate, but I think a lot of the public probably underestimate how big of a impact the MSR actually has on us younger players. I mean, if I think back to the MSR, you play with Quinny, Dale, those guys. So when you come into the Proteas setup, you're not like, whoa, you know what I mean? You've already been with those guys, you've experienced them, you get to know them. So yeah, whilst everyone's very welcoming, because you've experienced those people before, you don't feel out of place or anything. And I think that um, played a big part in, like you say, in the environment being the way it was, because obviously there was quite a few new guys coming into the environment. But in saying that, all of the new guys had been with the sort of big dogs, if you want to put it, before. So everyone was just comfortable around each other. Yeah, and you just feel like whether I've played a game or not, and you're playing with someone like Miller who's played 100 ODIs, you don't ever feel like he's on a different level, and you sort of I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I just think that
Mm.
that really helps in making everyone fit in and feel comfortable, and that has a massive impact on the team environment. And I definitely felt that, like you're saying, with the new guys coming in, there was quite a bit of energy, and everyone was sort of on the um, same path. I think the coaching staff also helped with that quite a lot. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's probably it. Mm.
And the Proteas are obviously going through a similar transition phase that the Cobras are kind of in a way going through as well. Let's switch to the Cobras quickly and just talk to me about that. Are you looking forward to being a more senior player, basically, in the side now? And being the age that you are at, you were used to having guys that are older than you that are kind of leading the way, like Dane Pete, Rory Kleinfout, etc., and obviously Vernon Philander. Now you guys, you, Zubair, Jason, George, all of you guys are now Nandre as well, are the senior guys on that side and the core group of that side. Are you going to look forward to that more of a leadership role? Because I mean, Ashwell has also mentioned your name in one of the potential leaders in the side.
Yeah, I think obviously, I believe that age doesn't really determine seniority or whatever. It's more about cricket experience. So, yeah, whilst we've got a young side, if you look at the games played and stuff, we've actually got a reasonably experienced side. I think of all the young guys that you've mentioned, it's maybe only Jason and Andre that haven't played international cricket, and both of them have played SAA. So it's not like we're short on guys that have cricket knowledge. So I think, yeah, it's going to be exciting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, like you mentioned, probably being a bit more senior role this year, but I don't think much will change from the previous years. Yeah, I've always had quite a big impact on the field because obviously you're a wicketkeeper and you see things a bit differently. So yeah, not much will change from that aspect. But yeah, it's exciting times. Yeah, everyone just got to get together. We've got an exciting squad. I think it was announced this morning. Yeah, so looking forward to the challenge. Yeah, but I don't think we obviously speak about. I don't think we can sort of hide behind the fact that there's a lot of young guys in that, because I think at the moment we've actually got a lot of good cricket knowledge and good cricketing experience.
Okay, so Kyle, let's get into the comments. You've had quite a few here. People are coming in fast, quite popular, as you may like.
So David Bedingham.
So check here. There's the first question. Who's your favorite ex-Cobras cricketer and why? This is from Jennifer Nikek.
Yeah, I know Jenna very well, actually. And just for her, I'm going to say David Bedingham. I hope he's watching this as well. Yeah, Jenna, it's David Bedingham. You know why.
Okay, the second one is from Michael Barnard. He just wants to know, would you be interested in sharing and keeping duties in tests with Quinny? And do you think that can bat high up the order, example number 4?
Sorry, let me just see here. I think, unfortunately for me, I think number 5 is probably the perfect position for a keeper batter of Quinny's ability. So as much as I would love to say yes to that question, I think for the country, Quinton needs to stay the test wicketkeeper and bat 5, which is not ideal for me because that's what I would like to do. But yeah, I don't think he should be batting 4. And I think 6 is probably a bit too low down. So I'd probably say, if I was a selector, keep him at 5 and yeah, let him keep.
Wow. I mean, I would have completely said the opposite. I mean, I'm one of the people that think that Quinny should move up to 4. You should slot in at 6. And
I can still bat 6.
Yeah, you can definitely. Next question from Taskin Khan. He's looking forward to Kyle cementing his place in the squad and giving some memorable performances. Go Kyle, that's more of a statement. But then Tariq comes in straight afterwards and he says, please explain your nickname.
Well, in my personal opinion, it's because I'm very good at soccer, hence Scalzi. But everyone else will tell you it's because we're both ginger, which I disagree with. I think it's purely down to my ability.
Yeah, you're a massive United fan, eh? And like me, so
yeah, unfortunately, I am.
Which
is why I'm hoping that the Premier League gets suspended or cancelled, so Liverpool don't win the league.
Yeah, but one game. It's ridiculous. I can't believe it's actually happened to him. If it does happen, it will be awesome.
No, it'll be brilliant.
So here's a question from Taskeen. What are you playing on PS4 at the moment?
So I played a bit of Fortnite with a couple of my mates, but I'm not very good at that, so I stopped. Yeah, during the lockdown, I bought Call of Duty because they also played quite a bit, so I wanted to fit in, but I'm not very good at that, so I'm now down to FIFA. That's all that
Yeah.
I've got left. This doesn't
Are you
work, then I'm gonna sell the PlayStation.
are you gonna be playing? Are you gonna be playing a FIFA Ultimate Team, or you just playing career mode?
Just career mode at the moment. I'll get there. I'm sure we're gonna have plenty more days in lockdown to get to that level.
Yeah, but are you when you play manager mode, do you like to get a lower team and then build them up, or do you play with United and then try to
Yeah, so
build your dream team?
I started with Nottingham Forest in the Championship, and we
Okay.
are now in the Premier League. So yeah, it's a bit boring if you take one of the good teams. So I
Uh,
try to take one of the lower guys and build it up.
okay,
Um,
cool.
yeah, so working on that at the moment.
Oh, on amateur mode. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Um, yeah, so let's go to another question from Tariq. You spoke about Dane Pete yourself being the dream team. Did you cry when you let you know that he's leaving?
Uh, listen, I don't remember that dream team comment. Must have been way back before I'd spent enough time with him for him to irritate me. No, obviously disappointed to see him go. I think obviously he's quite a character off the field. Yeah, and he's good for a team environment in terms of just bringing a lot of fun and sort of relaxedness to the dressing room. So I think yeah, it will definitely be missed. Obviously he's a great bowler, which also um, will be quite a big miss. But yeah, I think obviously everyone needs to make decisions that's best for their family, and I think that's what he's done. So yeah, disappointed to see him go, but I'm sure we'll still be seeing him around Newlands quite a bit.
Yeah.
Or he's going to America, so probably not.
Okay, another one from Taskino. Which other keeper do you think has the most potential in SA, and who is your favorite international player keeper?
Um, well, I think the last ODI that South Africa played, there was three wicketkeepers on the field, myself, Classy, and Connie. So I think there's my answer for that one. Um, and my favorite international keeper is Quinton de Kock, definitely. I'm not just saying this because he's a captain, but
Yeah. So,
yeah.
what is it about Quinny? Like, you spent some time with Quinny. Can you maybe give us? I know he's maybe not a guy that's on likes words and likes to like speak to people, like and give them long lectures, etc. So, but what? How did he? How has he shown you how to be a better keeper or how to be a better player or batsman, etc.? What sort of advice has he given you, or is he more of a guy that like shows you by the way he plays, etc.?
Um, yeah, I think obviously, I mean, you see him on TV and stuff before you play with him, and you think like you're probably going to get into the dressing room, not really say much or whatever, and just get on with it. But um, yeah, he's been quite good with me. Yeah, I've hung out with him quite a lot. He's helped me a bit with a couple of technical things with my batting. Yeah, there was a net session I think in Bloom when I was struggling with a few things, and he just came and um, yeah, sort of just helped me work through a few things. So that was quite nice. And then from a keeping side, something that I've learned from him when I was with him at the Cape Town Blitz is just how simple keeping actually is. And I think something that you see with him is there's no fuss about technique and all that thing. All you got to do is just catch the ball, which I think it simplifies keeping quite a lot. Obviously, there's a lot of different technical things that you can try and work on. But at the end of the day, if you can just find a way to catch the ball, then you're doing your job. And I think that's something that's helped me and that I've worked a lot with Ezra Poole on is just making sure that your actual ability to catch a ball is up there, and then yeah, the rest of the things you can sort of tweak with. But yeah, that's something that's really that I've learned a lot from him. Just catch the
Yeah.
ball and you'll be fine.
Yeah, because fans don't get this opportunity to see what Quinn is actually like as a person much, because he's a quite
Yeah.
closed guy, doesn't like social media that much. I mean, us as journalists as well, he wasn't a guy that used to enjoy press conferences, but now obviously because he's captain, he needs to. Just
Yeah.
give me some insight into what type of person he's like. Is he a fun guy? I know there's an infamous Spiker video that he put on Instagram that went completely viral, but what type of guy is he? What's he like in the changing room, off the field? Maybe when you guys go on your team building.
Yeah, he's very chilled. I think what you see on the field is also pretty much what you get off it. He's quite chilled. He's not too fussed about um, uh, I don't want to say fitting in, but he's not too bothered about like doing what everyone else is doing. Yeah, he does what he wants to do, type of thing. Yeah, very chilled character. Yeah, I really enjoy him. Um, I think I think his cricket knowledge as well gets underestimated. I think once you've played with him and played with him as your captain, you realize how good his understanding of the game is and how good his leadership really is. He might not give long speeches and stuff to the
Mm.
media or whatever, but yeah, on the field, I've found him excellent, and I think the way he reads the game is really good, and I don't think that's something that the public really get to see. But yeah, when you're on the inside, those are the things that you realize and you can understand why he is the captain, if that makes sense.
Cool. So we got a question here from Daniel. He says, "Where do you like to bat in the order, especially in the longer format? And would it change if you were asked to give up the gloves?"
No, I think whether I was keeping or not, I'd want to bat five, just because it suits the way I play. Yeah, I've spoken to Ashel about it before, about maybe giving up the gloves and moving up the order. But I think for the way I play, number five is perfect. I quite enjoy it. And I think when you batting at five, there's no issue keeping or not keeping. I think I don't really feel it has too much effect. So yeah, if I had a choice, I wouldn't stop keeping. And whether I was keeping or not, I think number five is probably my ideal spot.
And another one from Dan is, if you could keep wicket to one fast bowler in history, who would it be?
I want to say Dale Steyn. I've done it a bit in one day cricket, MSI and that, but I think to be able to do it in Test cricket, I think would be yeah, something I'd like to experience. Just obviously the pace and swing that he has and the aggression and stuff. I think it would be really nice to sort of witness that from behind the stump. So I'd probably have to go with him.
So the next one is from Jenna Fanike again, but I'm gonna
Oh,
change. Sorry, but I'm gonna change your question a little bit, because I think you want to hear David Bellingham. So I'm gonna ask you to mention someone else besides David for this one.
what's a question? Who is or
Who
was
do-
a person?
What person travel?
Okay, so Jenna is actually dating David Bellingham. That's why she's asking all these questions. Um, who is or was your favorite person to room with when you guys travel? So since David came into the Cobras, I've only roomed with him. I haven't roomed with anyone else. So it has to be him. He's not very
Cool.
pleasant to room with, I will say that. But yeah, he does the job.
Yeah, that's a play we gotta really miss around you and say he was an awesome guy
Yeah,
there.
I know. I miss him
Yeah.
already. I'll bet it.
Do you have a backup best friend now at the Cobras?
No, I'm still working on it at the moment, unfortunately.
Come on, guys,
Try
we
to
need
get
to.
Ashley P to somehow wangle another deal for betters for next season, but didn't work out. So we're back to square one, I'm
Yeah.
afraid.
So another one from Daniel. Who do you think would win in an arm wrestle between you and Zubi?
Not me.
Not you.
No, there's no chance. unfortunately.
So Craig Sturton has one for you. How do you spend your time off the field?
Um, I'm either at my girlfriend's house, or I'm playing golf, or I am studying. It's either those three. I don't do much else, to be honest with you.
Okay, cool. And then Avsas Patel has one for you as well. Well, which aspects of the game is he looking, or you looking at working on?
Um, yeah, I think there's quite a few aspects, obviously. I
Sorry.
don't know. I wouldn't say there's a particular thing I'm trying to improve. I've put a lot of focus over the last couple of months on my fielding. Um, yeah, I think I came to a realization that if I'm going to be playing international cricket, a large portion of it will be as a batsman, and I'll need to field. So I've been doing a lot of work on my fielding, and something that I am working on a bit during the lockdown is throwing. I've got a tennis ball that I'm throwing against the wall just to um, try and improve my throwing technique. I did a bit of work with Justin Ontong while we were away on tour. Just getting the right throwing technique and stuff, because obviously as a keeper you don't throw. So yeah, I'm trying to perfect that, and then yeah, I think I'll probably keep doing that during the off season, just because you never know what teams you're going to be a part of, and I think it does help if you're a decent fielder as well. Then you don't sort of get looked at a guy that can only play if he's keeping.
Cool. This one's gonna obviously trying to catch you out here. Um,
Oh, what? Do you know who that is?
Yep.
Just to annoy you, I'm gonna say my mom.
Cool. That's a great answer. So Igala has one for you as well. I think I'm pronouncing it right. How many trees do you have planted around Wynberg Boys Oval? Can I just explain this to people that don't know?
Yeah,
So at
sure.
Kyle went to Wynberg Boys, and generally speaking, when you hit a century, you get to plant a tree on the. I don't know where exactly. You can maybe clear that up, but yeah, and also maybe give us some background on it and how many job cutters, for example, has.
Yeah, so obviously, when you score, it has to be for the first team. So if you score a century for the first team, then you get to plant a tree. So if you go to the JK Oval at Wynberg Boys, if you walk around the field, it's basically surrounded by a whole bunch of trees, and the majority of them have been planted by guys that have got hundreds. I think Carlos has three, which is the same number as me, so that's a good thing. Um, but I do not actually have any planted at the moment. You need to, when you get 100, you need to buy a tree and then have it planted there.
Yourself.
So yeah, so when I got my first 100, I was buzzing, and then I found out you got to buy a tree if you want it to be planted, and it's got to be like a specific tree to obviously fit in with whatever's there and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I will do it at some stage. I think maybe when I'm done with my career, hopefully I've had a good international career, and I'll be able to plant my three trees and like have a bench under them or something. That's what I would like to do. But yeah, at the moment, if you walk around the field, you won't you won't find any of my trees there.
Okay, cool, awesome. Okay, we have another one from Afzal Patel. We've seen your ability to hit the ball long, and you play the spinner reasonably well. But one thing we noticed was with you handled the short ball in the third ODI. So they're saying
Um,
you handled it, obviously.
yeah, obviously, I don't really know what to say to that one. I think, yeah, obviously dealing with the short ball. I like to think I'm quite good at the short ball. Yeah, obviously the Australians, they've got a lineup where there's a lot of tall, quick guys, Stark, Hazelwood, Cummins, and that. So you always I always knew I was going to get tested on the short ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just glad. Well, I suppose they weren't playing in the last game, but I'm glad I was able to deal with it the way I did.
I want to ask you about that because you went out basically to two identical balls and in the same manner.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
how do you like how do you for youngsters obviously how do you prevent falling into that trap really?
Well, I think it's funny because obviously I had a lot of people saying, "Oh, you struggle on the short ball, whatever, same dismissal." But if you look at it, the first game I got 48. I think I probably got 10 bounces in that game. Um, I didn't go out to any of them. Hit one or two of them for four. The ball that I did go out to was actually not a very short ball. I actually middled it. I just because the wicket was a bit slower, it just went a bit in
Mm,
front of square, and I was caught. And then yeah, the second time it happened, again I got a few short balls before that and I darted it fine. That one wasn't actually short. It was probably I don't know, maybe just above hip height, maybe a touch higher.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and I tried to get it a bit finer, and there was just a bit of extra bounce, and it ended up going squarer than I wanted. So yeah, obviously it's not easy when everyone's telling you have a problem
mm,
against something, but I think it's important for me to. I mean, if you really understand the game and you were aware of the situations, it wasn't really a. I mean, the one I smoked, the other one I hit fine. I just didn't get it quite where I wanted to. So it wasn't like I was jumping around or um yeah, getting caught like ball splicing and stuff. It was two shots that I played pretty decently. Just yeah, didn't
yeah,
quite get the angle of them right, if that makes sense. So yeah, I
yeah.
wasn't really too concerned about it. Yeah, I wasn't really too bothered.
Cool. And then Tariq wants you to explain that celebration after the the catch against the Proteas.
Uh, yeah, I don't know actually. Obviously I haven't really fielded much, so I was just stoked to take a catch. And then I think being your debut, obviously full crowd, you haven't really experienced that before. So I think when I held onto it, like the crowd was quite loud and stuff. And yeah, my family was actually all sitting directly behind me. Yeah, so just I think just the the occasion, I don't know, just sort of hypes you up, and you end up doing something stupid like that. And yeah, it stuck around for a few days. The next couple of times you walk past someone in the passage, they just stick their finger up and do that celebration. So yeah, but I think it was just the occasion that got to me there.
Yeah, cool. And then Craig Sturton, who's an ex-Rondebosch boy, his brother is actually Richard Sturton. He wants to know who was the best RBHS cricketer that you played against, or Rondebosch boys high school cricketer that you played against.
It's pretty easy. Daisy, Dayan Khalim. I think yeah, Rondebosch. They've produced a lot of good players. Obviously, I played against Zubi when he was there. Murray Cummins also really good. Junaid Dawood, Matthew Christensen. There were a lot of guys, but at school level, Dayan Khalim was Cristiano Ronaldo. He was yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, he bat four, score 100, open the bowling, clean you up. He was ridiculous. So yeah, easily the best roundabout player I've played against.
Cool. And now we've got your buddy, David. Um, what's your answer on it?
Cool profile picture there, betters.
And he actually covers it. He does a double-ended question over here. What should explain?
So actually, I got this haircut in India. Uh, yeah, wasn't much to do there, so got this there. Yeah, I don't know. I just told him
Let's see.
short back in size and leave a bit on the front.
I'm gonna try to
I can
get.
tell you why I was asking these questions is
Yeah, I
because
wanna know.
he is
because I'm gonna actually try to get him on here. David, you are
No
watching now.
chance.
Come on. Huh? You've got an audience
There's
now.
no
Watch how
chance.
he's
See, David's very shy.
I know he's
He
but
struggles
I
to
mean,
speak in public. Very self-conscious about his hairline. So you won't really. Yeah, he's not coming on here.
yeah, there's no chance. I think he's changed it now. He has a different number now that he's over there. So what was it like? I mean, obviously you have a friend like David in the team, etc. And he was an excellent batsman as well. And you guys, great partnership, great friendship. How did you balance it, man? Like friendship and your being competitive, or did you guys have quite an honest relationship?
Um, yeah, obviously, I think it can be difficult because I mean, he obviously was a keeper at school and stuff, and um, when he signed for the Cobras, obviously in the back of my mind, I knew, okay, here's a guy coming, um, good batsman, and he can keep, which is exactly what I do. So yeah, I remember when he first signed for the Cobras, it did sort of go through my mind, listen, like this guy's your competition or whatever. But I think something that you realize is those sort of things spur you on, and it always encourages you to be better. So I think it's always good to have people of the same discipline in your team just to um, sort of encourage you to get better. Um, yeah, and then balancing the friendship, whatever. I don't think that's really ever been an issue. I think we're both pretty honest guys and stuff, and yeah, I mean, we talk openly with one another about selection and that sort of stuff. Yeah, I think with cricket, you've got to realize that um, selection is it's a non-control or uncontrollable, whatever the word is. I think the sooner you can realize that as long as you're putting the numbers on the board and you're just doing the best you can do, then there's not much else you can do. You can't really worry about anything else. The better off you will be. And I think that's something that both of us have helped each other with. Obviously, it's disappointing to be left out of teams and stuff, but um, if you if you're able to understand that it is what it is, sometimes it happens, then you will be better off.
Okay, Carl, thanks a lot for your time. Just lastly,
Sure.
just to sign off, just give a short message to the Cricket Fanatics fans that have been supporting you and then backing you since the beginning.
Yeah. Firstly, thanks for having me. Yeah, I think to all the fans, it's obviously us cricketers. We don't really have a job without you guys. If no one watches cricket, then yeah, we're pointless. So yeah, just keep supporting us. Yeah, all the support and all the messages are much appreciated. Yeah, I think cricket is a unique sport in South Africa especially, and I think yeah, I just encourage all the fans to yeah just really get behind the game and keep supporting it. So yeah, thank you.
Cool. So, guys, to the fans out there, thank you for coming and tuning in and asking questions. It was a really awesome live stream. We will be putting up the full video and the full recording on our website so that you guys can go back and watch it again, or you want to share it, or you missed this live stream, etc. So, you'll see that coming up in the next hour or so. So, thanks to God. We will be having another one tomorrow. So stay tuned for who that person is and which guest we'll be having on the show. We're gonna try to get them every single day. We're gonna try to do someone new. So thanks a lot, Kyle. Awesome conversation. I really enjoyed it.
Cool,
See you,
cool.
bro.
Cheers.
Cheers.